For the ones who don't know me, my name is Merel Forrest. I'm a singer-songwriter from Belgium and I create indie folk music, mainly with the focus on the acoustic part. I mainly play my guitar and my piano, and yeah, I just love songwriting. So yeah, I basically write about my feelings and my thoughts and everything in between. So if you want to listen to my music, you definitely can. You can find all of my music on my Spotify and other platforms. We're going to be talking about a platform today. But besides that, I have put out some albums on there, an EP, and also some singles. So if you want to check out my music, I would be forever grateful because I'm just a small artist at the moment and I'm just working on this like any other artist, and this is what I love to do. So if you want to support me, that would be awesome. But today, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be talking about something that I usually never talk about. Like, I only mainly post my music on this YouTube channel. I don't really do these like sit down videos where I literally talk about my opinions. That's not really something that I do, especially not this, because I think it's kind of like controversial and I don't really talk about stuff like that except for like with my family and my boyfriend. But I just really wanted to talk about this because this is something that I'm really passionate about, and this is about TikTok, and especially TikTok as for musicians. So first of all, when TikTok came out, I don't really know what kind of year that was. It's been around for quite a while now. I was really against it. I was like, I'm never gonna download TikTok. Like, what would I do? Make dance videos? I don't know. That wasn't really my thing. Nothing against dance videos, but that just wasn't really my thing. Even though I think I have done one. It was like the Wednesday dance. But TikTok, I always thought I wouldn't download it, but then eventually I did because I realized that it would be a really great tool for musicians. TikTok is actually a great place for people who want to make music and share their music and promote their music on there. So I was like, I'm gonna download it. I think it was in 2021 or 2022. And then eventually I started posting my own TikToks and promoting my own music. But as of like since last year, I started getting some different thoughts about TikTok, and also I realized that it always has kind of been that way. I just never really liked TikTok to begin with, and especially not for using a way to promote my music. And also, honestly, I don't know about you guys, but scrolling on TikTok just doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't give me a good feeling. It makes me feel like there's so much information in my brain, and my brain is just cluttered with all these different things that I just saw, and I can't even remember what I just saw. So I have actually stopped scrolling on TikTok since August of last year, and I'm actually really proud of myself for that because it's honestly almost like a year. And yeah, I'm really happy about that. I haven't really thought about that yet, but I did continue posting my music on TikTok because I saw that as a great way to put out my music into the world and for people to see my music, you know? So that's why I did it. A coffee break is always needed. But basically, I have my laptop right there, so I wrote out a bunch of points about how I think about TikTok, and I never thought I was going to be filming a video like this because, like I said, this is not really what I do anymore, although 10 years ago, when I was 13 years old, I started making YouTube videos. So I have actually been a YouTuber in the past. I have made vlogs and everything like that, but that's not really my ambition anymore. That's not really what I want to do anymore. And you're also gonna notice it from the things I talk about in this video. I don't really want to be a content creator. I just want to be a musician, a singer-songwriter, and I just want to be a music artist. That's what I want to do. But okay, let's actually get into this video. I would say grab yourself a drink as well. I have my coffee right there. So this may be a long video, I'm just warning you. But yeah, I'm excited to be talking about these things, and I hope you guys are too. And I'm really curious if some of you guys actually think the same things about this like I do, because I feel like I'm not alone. I definitely feel like a lot of musicians, and not even musicians, just people who use TikTok, can maybe relate to me, also like other kinds of artists. Okay, so the first thing I want to be talking about is I feel like when you're on TikTok and when you have artists on TikTok, I feel like there's more a focus on the artist that you are on that app, the artist that you are on TikTok, and you see like very short snippets of your songs, like literally 60-second videos of your song. Like, that's not really a great representation of what that song is gonna be like the full version in the first place. But also I just feel like on TikTok you have that kind of image as an artist. But personally, I feel like real life connections, or like people actually listening to your full songs on Spotify, those people I feel like are so much more wholesome, and it's so much more worth it, I feel like. And also mainly when I do gigs, like actually in real life, I perform my music during a concert. That's what I love doing most, because then you get like real life interaction with your fans and basically with the people who listen to your music. And that's what I love most. So I feel like on TikTok there's more of that focus of just being that artist on the app, but in real life you're so much more than just that TikTok video. Also with TikTok, and that's not only TikTok, that's with all other kinds of social media apps, there's just so much focus on the numbers. Basically your amount of likes, your followers, the comments that you get, that is like a very big indicator of your worth as a musician, or at least that's how I feel about it. It just kind of looks like if you have so many followers or so many likes, if you go viral, it kind of defines you as an artist and it makes you more of like a good quality artist, when in reality I feel like when you actually listen to music on Spotify and you see people live, like I'm a big fan for concerts, I think many of you guys are too, but that's when you actually experience the music. And I know like some artists that have a lot of followers really deserve it. For example, Olivia Rodrigo, she is amazing. Like, she is doing so great. She's literally thriving and she really deserves it. But maybe I'm just a little biased because I'm just a really big fan. Okay. But then on the other hand, I just feel like there's way too much of a focus on numbers and likes when if you're then like a if you're a small I'm sorry, English is not my first language, okay? When you're a small artist like me, sometimes it just kind of feels like if you don't get enough followers or you don't get many likes on that video, because I've been there, it just feels like, is that a bad song? Or like, is my music not good enough? Sometimes you really start questioning yourself and your worth as a musician. And I just feel like that's kind of sad, because I feel like numbers shouldn't really define you and shouldn't define your quality as an artist. And for me personally, I've actually come to the realization that building a slow fan base and just slowly building that fan base of people who actually come to your shows, people who actually listen to your music, like I said, on Spotify or other streaming platforms. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's like a lot of noise on the street. But you know, just building, you know, like they say that slow burn instead of like overnight success. That's kind of a thing that I really like, that concept, because you are just building your fan base. And yeah, sometimes you're not an overnight viral success. That's more realistic, I feel like. But you know, sometimes you can be, and I feel like we rely on that very much nowadays. But I would rather have my listeners to actually feel something when they listen to my music. I would love it if they listen to my lyrics, or if they just, you know, feel something. And I just feel like online, like on TikTok, it kind of feels like it's not worth it to really pursue your dream of music if you don't get enough followers or likes. And it's just kind of dangerous, I feel like, to actually decide to give up and just give up on your dream because you're not getting enough followers. And that's really sad, because you shouldn't. And honestly, it's scary to have those thoughts, because deep down, that passion that has been planted inside of you, I truly believe in that, it's been planted there for a reason. Like, I believe that everything is meant to be, and I believe in the universe and all that kind of stuff. And talking about the algorithm, not only on TikTok but on other apps as well, it just really feels like those algorithms have so much power over you. Like, they decide whether or not people are gonna see your video. They decide if people are even able to see your music, hear your music, and it just feels like it's constantly like bribing with that app, constantly a battle of, will this video get likes? Will this video be seen by many people? And then if that doesn't happen, you kind of feel like that video flopped, when in reality it might be like a really good video. And that's just sad. I feel like that's not the way it should be, because TikTok is like all about quantity. I feel like it's mainly when you put out a lot of videos, that's kind of what TikTok wants. It wants you to put out 2 to 3 videos a day. I don't even know what the recommended thing is nowadays to go viral, but I just feel like that's not sustainable, and that kind of ruins the quality of the things you're putting out, and it's just literally quantity above quality, and that's really not what I stand for. I feel like if we all would be living more in the moment instead of looking at that goddamn screen all day, every day, I feel like we would have a more connection with each other, especially that, but also we would have more like a feeling with music, that you're connected to the music and connected to the lyrics. And it's basically like living slow living. You enjoy the music a lot more on a deeper level than when you just watch that one video on TikTok, then you scroll to another one and you see another artist, and it's just, there's just so much information and so many different things that you see on that app. And you know, for some people this is great. Like, this is just my opinion that I'm sharing here, so this is really subjective what I'm saying, but that's just how I feel about it. It's not real connections, especially not connecting over music. And TikTok just makes a lot of things seem more superficial, especially music, because I feel like many artists are starting to create those like songs that are very like trendy and that can go viral. And sometimes, honestly, this is my opinion, but maybe I'm also biased because I love creating indie folk music, and that's like more acoustic with like just a little or no production. But I feel like some of these songs on TikTok are actually getting so like overproduced, and maybe that's just my opinion. I know some people do like that kind of music, but that's just not really my taste. And I just feel like so many people want to make their music so like overly mainstream that it's almost like impossible nowadays, especially on TikTok, not everywhere. But nowadays it's just kind of difficult sometimes to make alternative music and not create that overproduced pop music. And I'm thankful that there are still many pop artists who make amazing music that's not overly produced, because I do love listening to pop music. And also, can we talk about these filter bubbles that you have on social media, and especially on TikTok? I just noticed this when I was like a long time ago, when I was still scrolling on TikTok. I really enjoyed it, and because my algorithm, or like my For You page, actually started looking more and more like the page that I actually wanted it to be, because the more TikTok saw that I was watching videos or I was liking videos, it just, I don't know, the algorithm started knowing what I liked. And so I got to see more and more of the same old content, more and more of the videos that I actually liked. But you kind of get into this bubble by doing that. You get into the bubble of seeing the same content, being in the same niche. And sometimes it's just so hard to then see other opinions or other things, especially I think with music it's the same way. I honestly don't really know if that goes with music as well, but I think it does, because with other videos that's just how it goes. So this way I feel like it's a bit more difficult for artists like me, who, like I said, create alternative music, to actually get into that stream of mainstream overproduced pop music, because sometimes it's hard to get in there, because mainly you will probably have a smaller audience who actually likes that music, but sometimes it feels like you don't even get the chance to show your music because other music is chosen above that. And I'm not sure if it's really like that, but that's how I feel. I think that it is. So artists like me who create more like acoustic indie folk singer-songwriter music, I feel like it's a little bit more difficult to get into that content stream of like overproduced music because not everyone likes it, but especially because I feel like TikTok doesn't prefer that over overproduced TikTok music, basically. But sometimes when you listen to the full song, then it sometimes kind of feels like it's not as good as that clip you saw on TikTok, and that's just personal preferences. But that's sometimes what I've realized, and then I'm like, huh, that clip on TikTok was actually a lot better in my mind. Why is the whole song not that great? And I also feel like what I've noticed is that the people who are on TikTok scrolling, so basically the consumers on TikTok, I just feel like they just look at what is shoved underneath their noses on their screen, just at what is at their fingertips, literally on the For You page. And I just feel like because of that, it is harder for them to actually go out of their way to actually go to somebody's Spotify to actually listen to the full song instead of just liking that one clip that they saw. And like, it's great that they like it, you know, they support other artists, but I just feel like they don't really go out of that app to consume other things outside of that bubble when they see something that they like. And also, if I look at the amount of inspiration that I have for my music, as a singer-songwriter, I have periods where I write a lot of songs, then I have periods where I write a little bit less songs. It just really depends on what I'm feeling, you know. Sometimes I'm really inspired. Like 2 years ago, I went through a very bad breakup, and I literally wrote so much about it because I was hella inspired. So shout out to my ex. But I also feel like the more I would look on TikTok, the more I would like subconsciously like compare myself to these other artists. Like, comparison literally is the thief of joy. That's literally how I feel about it because it is true. It's a saying, and I know it's freaking cliche, but it's true. Like, I compare myself without even realizing it, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one because on TikTok you see so many people doing the same thing as you, and especially if you're a musician. I see other musicians and literally I just feel my inspiration draining away. I feel like I'm not sure anymore what I have to do. I see this opinion, this style, the other style, this is working, what should I do next? Like, sometimes it just kind of feels like I don't know anymore. And that's all because of TikTok. That's how I feel about it. It's not because of other things outside of me, you know, sometimes it is, but it's because of TikTok. I just feel like I'm like pulled from one side to the other. However, when I spend my time in nature, when I do the things that I love, like lately I've been getting back into reading books, especially young adult fiction books. Yes, I love it so much. I've been getting back into that and I've been feeling so much more inspired, and not mainly to write about those books because, fun fact, I used to do that before I actually experienced love for the first time. The very first songs that I wrote were love songs and breakup songs, but honey, I did not experience that yet then. So I was like, hold on, that's my inspiration. I'm gonna write songs about the books that I read and about the series that I watched. And honestly, the funny thing is I wrote a couple of songs about K-dramas that I watched. Yeah, I don't watch K-dramas anymore, but like in 2020, that was my thing. I even started learning Korean. I'm not even kidding. I still know a couple of things, and I'm not sure. I maybe know like the Hangul alphabet, but it's been a while. But like I said, first of all, I wrote songs about the books that I read, the series or films that I watched. But nowadays, because I have experienced heartbreak, but mainly I am currently experiencing true love, and that's truly what gives me inspiration to write music. I feel like now that I am off TikTok, I feel like I'm so much more inspired to write. I have so much more ideas and thoughts, and I just have like my notes app on my phone. I constantly write new things in there, and that's basically what I use to write my lyrics. That means that I'm inspired, you know, and I just get inspired by the things and the people that I love and the things that I love doing, you know, spending time in nature, reading, actually doing like wholesome things, doing things that give you like a long form of dopamine, give you actually natural and healthy dopamine instead of scrolling on that freaking app, because that gives you a lot of dopamine, but that short form dopamine that makes you freaking addicted. Also, a funny thing, can we talk about AI, and especially the AI covers that I used to see on TikTok and probably on YouTube as well? I don't know if I'm the only one, but I am so weirded out by seeing those covers. Like, I get it, it's fun when you see a cover of your favorite artist when they actually haven't covered that song. I get it, like it's fun, but it kind of creeps me out because first of all, sometimes it sounds really creepy, and second of all, they haven't covered that song. Like, the power of AI really scares me because like I don't really see that as a good thing for artists in the future, like just for everything, for people who animate, for illustrators, for singers, musicians, songwriters, for translators, pretty much everything, especially in the arts. I don't really see it as something good, even though I do have to say there are many good things about AI that we use nowadays in our daily lives, but I feel like not everything about it is good. Also, do you realize that us musicians and also other content creators, but like I think a little less other content creators because they actually probably do make money when they're able to like monetize what they're doing, but I feel like a lot of us musicians, we create this kind of free content for TikTok that we put out there as much as we can because, you know, it's a quantity game on there, and we do it for free. Like, for free. Why would you do that? Like, I get it. In return, you might go viral, like you might, or you might get a lot of followers that start listening to your music. Yeah, you might. That's definitely possible. But also, you're feeding that app while they're stealing your freaking data. And I know this is a beautiful way to actually build an audience, but when that doesn't really happen after you've posted so much content, you just kind of start feeling used by this app, or at least I did. So I was like, okay, TikTok, do your thing, but I'm out of here, you know? Like I said before, I feel like many people who actually do see your music on your TikTok and like it and give a sweet comment, that's really, really nice, but do they actually go out of their way to leave the app, open up Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, wherever you listen to your music? Do they actually do that and then start listening to your songs? And okay, we're back. My camera just fell out because the internal temperature was too hot. Love that for me. Sorry, I've been filming for such a long time. If you're still here, thank you. You're an OG. So I don't really know where it cut out, but like I was saying, I feel like most people on TikTok don't really take the time to go out of their way to really like support you as an artist, to really come to your shows or, you know, really listen to your music. And also, especially for me personally, I sometimes feel like TikTok is not that like handy for me because I am a musician from Belgium, and so far I've only been performing in Belgium. Like, the only time I performed outside of Belgium was in France, which was, you know, it's nice that I've performed in France before, but I feel like the people who watch my music on TikTok are mainly from all over the world. So, you know, when I grow as an artist, that might be handy, but for now, I don't really know. Maybe for streams on Spotify, but yeah. And talking about long form versus short form content. Yes, I am very passionate about this. Recently, like a couple of months ago, I think like half a year ago, I started to realize that I just really hate short form content. Sometimes I do like myself a good meme, especially when my boyfriend sends me memes. I love that because that's like the only content I watch outside of YouTube. I still use YouTube outside of other social medias, but I just don't really like short form content anymore. At first I did because, like I said, I used to be a TikTok consumer. Like, I used to scroll on TikTok like many other people. I really liked it because sometimes I did actually learn something, and sometimes I did see things that inspired me. But overall, at the end of like scrolling for half an hour, I didn't feel that great. I felt guilty, and I just felt like my brain was kind of fried with all that kind of different information. And also like, it's like literally a fact that your brain, like our human brain, is not made to consume that much of different information in such a short period of time. Like, our brain is not developed for that. And that's why we feel kind of fuzzy afterwards. Or at least I do. I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't make me feel good. And I feel like many people don't feel good after using TikTok. So me personally, I would much rather from now on create long form content. So then especially here on YouTube, I am just going back to the way I started out with my music. I am gonna go back to full covers, like the actually the full song, instead of just posting the chorus on TikTok. Because I don't know, like when I record a cover, I just like to practice the full song and record the full song. Because I also listen to full songs on Spotify, not to like 60 seconds of it, unless I don't like it. But yeah, I only cover songs on here that I really, really love. And so I just got back into my game of recording covers, just like good quality covers with my microphone, with my camera. I just kind of missed that because that's how I started out on this YouTube channel. Like, you can watch all of my other covers. I think I have almost 80 covers on here. And I loved doing that. I posted them like every single week, mostly like twice a week on Wednesday and Sundays. Also, by the way, I'm planning on doing that again. When this video comes out, I'm probably doing that already, so I post on Wednesdays and Sundays, but mainly my music and mainly covers. So if you want to see that, if you want to see acoustic covers of popular songs, then you might consider subscribing. Like I was talking about this before, I just want to create more quality content, or I would say less content but more quality, over quantity content like on TikTok, where you have to post 3 times a day or every day to actually get some traction and to actually get people to listen to your music, and then it's not even promised. So I also prefer watching YouTube videos because it doesn't make me feel bad. I don't really get addicted to YouTube because I mainly watch it on our TV, and I don't watch YouTube Shorts because, once again, it's pretty much the same thing, just like Instagram Reels. It's pretty much the same thing. Also, we all know about this decreasing attention span that we all have because of TikTok and just because of all the short form content that we're constantly seeing on social media. Like, when I first kind of quit TikTok about a year ago, it was kind of hard for me to get back into reading because I just read a chapter and was like, okay, I'm done. Whereas now, I get to read chapter after chapter without actually getting bored because I'm actually in the story and I love it. So it's hard breaking that short attention span and going back to actually a long attention span that we are supposed to have. And I just feel like so many of us creators, not only musicians, but other creators and artists that post their beautiful content, these beautiful short videos that they've put so much work into. Like, I know I'm kind of contradicting myself right here because I said it's quantity over quality, but sometimes some people just put so much effort into their videos and they just make their videos so beautiful for them to just get lost in the whole TikTok nirvana, as I like to call it. They just get lost, and people start seeing those TikToks in a very shallow way because, oh, it's just another 30 to 60 second clip, you know? It's just another video. Oh, after 10 seconds, I'm just gonna scroll, like sometimes not even 10 seconds. And I remember I was guilty of that too. Sometimes after 5 seconds, you would just scroll. And because of this, I just feel like the value of your content and as an artist, as a musician, it just decreases, which is really sad because so many artists make beautiful music, which should be appreciated so much more. And also something that I actually learned throughout the time and that I've recently learned is mainly because of watching other videos of other creators telling me how they share their artwork online and how they do it without TikTok or without social media even, is really inspiring because TikTok is not the only way through which you can promote your music and through which you can grow an audience. I know sometimes it's really handy, and if that's something that works for you, then I think you should continue doing that. But for me personally, it wasn't really the way I wanted to continue going in because it just made me feel like shit. And yeah, I realized there are other ways to promote your music, and for me personally, I do still use Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Instagram, I mainly just share my new concert dates on there. I share my concert flyers and my pictures and videos that were taken during a concert. I also share just pictures about my life as a musician, and I share my own music, and sometimes I share short covers, but mainly I also share my long covers from here on YouTube on my Instagram, and I do the same thing on my Facebook. I have a Facebook page that I recently made because people are actually following me on there, people who actually want to hear about my music, which is so wholesome, and I'm so grateful for the people who actually really support me in real life for my music. Like, it just makes me so happy that this dream of mine is something that I can pursue and something that I can actually do every day. I feel like TikTok, I don't really miss it, honestly, and I know there are going to be periods of time where I'm like, should I go back? You know, there's always that kind of voice in your head that's like, maybe you should go back. But you don't have to. There are other ways. And lastly, I just felt like with TikTok or creating short form content, I felt like I was becoming a content creator. And like I said before, this is just not really what I wanted to do. I don't want to be a content creator. I do have to say, in the past, when I was creating vlogs and other YouTube videos when I was a teenager, I did want to be that. But then, you know, I quit because I realized eventually that wasn't really what I wanted to do. You try something, you realize if it's something you really want to do or not. And with music, this is like, I started playing the guitar and singing only like 4 years ago. In 2020, I started to teach myself how to play the guitar. And that's pretty much the same time where I started writing my songs. And I just learned it all on my own. And I just discovered that that was my passion. I was like, okay, like this is my purpose. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna do music. And now 4 years later, I'm even more passionate about it because I know that this is what I want to be doing. So I realized that that was what I wanted to be doing, and I don't want to be a content creator, so I'm not gonna continue pushing out these shiny new short content videos. And so I didn't actually delete my TikTok account, like my profile, because why would I? Like, why would I delete my account when I put so many tears and sweat and blood into it? I recorded so many covers, so many. There are so many on there, so you can check it out if you want to. But the app is off my phone. TikTok is gone. It's not on here anymore. So you're not gonna see me scrolling on TikTok anymore. That's just not gonna happen. And I'm glad. It literally felt like a weight that fell off my shoulders when I deleted that app. And I know it sounds so dramatic, but that's what it felt like. So yeah, those are my opinions on TikTok. This video is probably very long. Like, my camera is overheating again. What? That's annoying. So thank you so much for watching. If you've watched this whole entire video, thank you so much. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this, or if you feel the same way about this. I'm really curious. These were my thoughts about it, and for a long time I really doubted, like, should I share this on my YouTube channel? Is this necessary? Like, no, it's not necessary because I'm an artist, but I feel like I just want to share my thoughts of slow living as an artist and that slow rise or this slow burn success. Yeah, I just want to talk about that because that's what I'm passionate about, and I just don't want to continue in the whole TikTok thing. Thank you so much for watching, and if you really want to, I mean, I would be really grateful if you would, but you can listen to my music. It's on Spotify, Miro Forest. And I also have my Instagram, Miro Forest Music. My Facebook page is also Miro Forest Music. And if you want to, you can subscribe on YouTube if you want to see more of my covers and my original music. I also post my music videos and my lyric videos on here. Just my music, my long form music content. So yeah, I would really appreciate it if you could join me in my music journey. If you really like indie folk, acoustic, singer-songwriter music. Basically, I think I would describe my music as like music for the bookworms, the people who like slow living, the people who love spending time in nature, just people who love deep thoughts and emotions, and just people who love soft music. Yeah, or people who love acoustic guitar music or piano music. Join the club! Join the club! Okay, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.